Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'll call this meeting of the Woodford County Fiscal Court to order. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Squire Taylor.
Here.
Squire Gentry.
Here.
Squire Barnard.
Here.
Squire Carl.
Here.
Squire Downey.
Here.
Squire Blackford.
Present.
Squire Jill.
Here.
Squire Brown.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We have our invocation being offered tonight by Pastor Tony Harden of Journey Church.
Thank you, Judge. So bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessing of this day. We thank you that you've woken us up to just another day in your creation. And I pray that as we look around, we don't take that for granted. Lord, I pray for this fiscal court tonight. I pray for these men and women who have taken on this task of leadership. Your scripture tells us to obey our leaders because they are leaders because you've ordained them to be. And so tonight I pray that you would guide them with your wisdom, and I pray that you would provide your hand of protection. Lord, we love you, and it's in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, that I offer my prayers. Amen.
Thank you. If you're able, please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to open the floor for any public comment, any person seeking to make a public comment.
I just wanted to make the court aware of something at Journey Church that we've been doing this week. We've had a local mission trip that started on Sunday. We kicked it off collectively as a church. Both services, we wrote a note to every staff member and teacher of the school system. It's 1,100 people. We took a trip to Moorhead and kicked off a launch of a church called Foothills Christian Church, and just were there to support them. And today we started feeding all the teachers in all of the schools breakfast and coffee. We have several projects that we're taking part in. I think we have over 400 people engaged in it. We're painting dugouts at Falling Springs. We're doing some work at Safe Harbor and the Head Start building. We've picked 4 families that are in need, that had some things in their homes that they couldn't take care of themselves, and so we endeavored to take care of those for them. And over 21 projects. I can't sit here, I don't want to take all of your time. But the reason we're doing that is we want to follow what Jesus called as the greatest commandment, is that we're to love Him with all of our hearts, with all of our mind, with all of our soul, and to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. So we're doing that just to show our community that we love them. And so one thing I want to invite everyone to, it's for the public, on Saturday from 12 to 2, we're going to wrap it up with a picnic in the park at Big Spring. And so we would invite you to bring your kids. Come hungry. We'll be feeding hot dogs and food as long as they last. And so again, it's just our way of saying that we love our neighbors and we want to care for them here. So thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Pastor Harden. We appreciate all your congregation does in our community, serving needs, and we appreciate your mission trip. And I would always offer you the opportunity to share what your congregation is doing following your prayer. You know, you don't need the public comment time, but if you want to, you're welcome to take it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I would open up the floor for any additional public comment. Anybody wishing to seek to make a public comment, share something with the court or the community? Seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting, April 14th, 2026. Are there any additions and or corrections? Seeing none, are there any objections to approving the minutes as presented? Seeing no objection, we will approve the minutes as presented. The committee reports. The Budget and Finance Committee met prior hereto and worked on the fiscal year 26-27 Woodford County Fiscal Court budget. We presented the budget calendar. The budget for the preliminary budget for the fiscal court will come out Friday, May 1st. Tuesday, May 12th will be a committee of the whole to go through the budget. Tuesday, May 26th, the fourth Tuesday in May, will be the committee of the whole and the first reading of the fiscal year budget. Tuesday, June 23rd, will be the second reading of the budget, should everything proceed as planned. I'd just like to note that the budget presentation's coming along, and Woodford County is in strong financial position due to strong financial management of the county's funds and tax dollars. The first item on our Budget and Finance Committee was the Industrial Revenue Bond presentation from Castle and Key. We received a presentation from Castle and Key, their counsel, Mr. Tim Eifler, and also recommended the first reading of Ordinance 2026-3. We had a full discussion thereon. We also heard from the Fire District and their counsel. And the final act of the Budget and Finance Committee was to make a recommendation to the full fiscal court to have the first reading of Ordinance 2026-03 to approve the IRB. And I would like to note that that does not make it law. If it has a first reading, it has to have a second reading, would be at the second meeting in May. That is May 26th. But that was recommended with one nay vote from approval from the committee. So I would entertain a motion to have the first reading of Ordinance 2026-3 as recommended by the Budget and Finance Committee. Is there a motion thereon?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Taylor. Second by Squire Gentry. I'd open up the floor for any discussion thereon. Not everyone at once, though.
Judge.
Yeah, Squire Taylor, you're recognized.
I just want to thank them for their presentation, and I also want to thank their willingness to communicate with the fire district and look forward to seeing what comes from that proposal. So thank you all.
Thank you, Squire Taylor. Other members of the court wish to make a comment or question regarding the first reading of Ordinance 2026-3. The one thing that I will say is that Castle and Key is a great community partner in Woodford County. They shared that they employ about 100 people, which would be in the ballpark of this fiscal court. Castle and Key is, we have their president here, Mr. Will Arvin, somebody that has been accessible. We work with them regularly on promoting tourism, on economic development, on growing jobs and opportunities in the Millville area. And unfortunately, we did hear in the committee that times are getting tough. Times are getting tough for Woodford Countyans. Gas prices are up. There are other challenges in the economy. We heard that throughout the Budget and Finance Committee. But unfortunately, the bourbon industry has been hit particularly hard with the tariffs, retaliatory tariffs, and other factors affecting their business. They are one of our signature industries, and Woodford County is the proud home to many bourbon jobs. We're proud of our history with bourbon. We certainly make some of the best product in the world. But where it really matters are the families that bring home a living to provide for their families in Woodford County. And Castle and Key is a great employer in doing that. And so they've come to us as a fiscal court in times of challenge, and they're asking for us to help them. We've helped Brown-Forman and Woodford Reserve. Brown-Forman's a big company out of Louisville. And I think we should and can do the same for Castle and Key. I know that there is some discussion about what happens. There was some discussion about the fire district. I think those questions were answered. But at the end of the day, this is an economic development exercise. We need to make sure that we retain and grow good jobs and opportunities for the citizens of Woodford County. If it wasn't for the bourbon industry, if it wasn't for great community partners like Castle and Key, we may not have the lowest unemployment rate in all of Kentucky. But I know this, that we have the opportunity to do something impactful, something that can help grow jobs and opportunity, and I think this is the time to do that. When we have this proposed first reading, it doesn't become law. We have the opportunity to have it published, to have it noticed so that everybody can understand what's going on. And we'll have a second reading where it particularly can become law. So Those being my comments, are there any other additional comments regarding the IRB and first reading of ordinance 26-3? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting said ordinance, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
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 Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Squire Taylor.
Aye.
Squire Gentry.
Aye.
Squire Varner.
Nay.
Squire Carl.
Aye.
Squire Downey.
Aye.
Squire Blackford.
Aye.
Squire Gill.
Nay.
Squire Brown.
Nay.
Let the record reflect the motion passes. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
Yes, Judge, this would be a summary first reading of an ordinance of the County of Woodford authorizing the issuance of a series of revolving industrial revenue bonds having an aggregate revolving principal amount not to exceed $90 million and designated the County of Woodford, Kentucky Revolving Industrial Building Revenue Bond Series 2026 Castle and Key Distillery Project for the purpose of financing an industrial building project, approving and authorizing the execution, delivery, and acceptance of a lease agreement between the county as lessor and Peristyle LLC as lessee. B, a bond purchase agreement providing for the issuance, sale, and delivery of the bonds. And C, other related documents and taking other related action. The prefatory clauses set out the basis for this. The county is referred to as the issuer and Castle and Key is referred to as company. So I'll just read that last this one prefatory clause. Whereas at the company's request, the issuer is prepared pursuant to the act to accept a non-recourse assignment of the rights under the real property leases for the project and issue a single series of its industrial revenue bonds for the purposes of financing the acquisition, construction, development, installation, and equipping of the project and paying cost of issuance of the series of the industrial revenue bonds upon terms that are to be set forth in the lease agreement and other documents hereinafter identified and approved. Now, therefore, the County of Woodford, acting through your fiscal court, ordains as follows. Section 1 relates to the adoption of premises. Section 2 relates to the determination and findings of the fiscal court. Section 3 relates to the authorization of the bonds. Section 4 relates to the bond lease agreement. Section 5 relates to the assignment of warehouse leases. Section 6 relates to the bond purchase agreement. Section 7 relates to the assignment of bond lease. Section 8 references the payment in lieu of taxes agreement. Section 9 relates to the amendment. Section 10 relates to the authority to consummate the lease and bond sale. Section 11 relates to further assurances and financing statements. Section 12 relates to industrial buildings. Section 13 relates to the bonds, not general debt of the issuer. Section 14 is the notice to the state local debt officer. Section 15 relates to the authority to supplement. Section 16 is the severability clause. Section 17 is resolving conflicts clause. Section 18 is the date of effectiveness clause, which would be May the 26th if the court does have a vote at that meeting to approve a second reading. This does need to be published in summary form to notify the public of that second reading. And Mr. Eifler, what I will do is take what you've given me and summarize it to do it the way we typically do that, if that's satisfactory to you. All right. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate your time today. Mr. Eric Gregory of the Kentucky Distillers Association was here with us as well. We appreciate it. Thank you all. Y'all are more than welcome to be excused, but you're also welcome to stay. There's more exciting things to come. Chief Montgomery, Mr. Hoskins, thank you both for coming. I'll continue with our committee reports. The committee heard a presentation from the Versailles Police Department by Chief Rob Young. It was a very, very good budget presentation. The Versailles Police Department has done a great job in the presentation of their budget, and comments reflected saying, we do have to adopt the ag extension budget into the record for this fiscal year. Is there a motion to accept same into the record?
So moved.
Motion by Squire Varner, second by Squire Brown. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. The motion carries. Just give folks a little primer. The Ag Extension Office and the Conservation Extension District, or Conservation District, are two different offices in the same building, doing great things for Woodford County, our farmers, and our community. Department budgets, we received the emergency management budget, the safety budget, and the IT budget. And as a matter of time and presentation, you have the opportunity to discuss with Director Chandler. We did take up the County Road Aid Cooperative Program Agreement. As recommended, I need a motion to approve same. Motion by Squire Taylor, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We also need to adopt the resolution 2026-7 approving the execution of same. Is there a motion for adoption? Motion. Second by Squire Gentry. Seeing no questions thereon, at the recommendation of the Budget and Finance Committee, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We had our road rebids for fuel and fluids. We had no objections to recommending the road supervisor's recommendation to accept the bid from Woodford Oil for fuel. Is there a motion to adopt same? Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We need to accept the bid from Woodford Oil for motor oil and other road fluids as recommended. Motion by Squire Taylor. No, I'm sorry. Motion by Squire Carl, second by Squire Gentry. Seeing no questions thereon, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. I will say, I think that's all we have for the Woodford County Road Department. I want to commend our road supervisor, Mr. Scott Dean, who the good Lord has decided to challenge in his new position as road supervisor by having ice storms and now a great windstorm to add to your resume as well. But they were out long hours last night, all throughout the day. And Mr. Road Supervisor, y'all did an excellent job rising to the challenge.
Yes, you're right. It was a challenge. And I appreciate all the support. Midway really got it hit pretty hard last night. And so did some of the south of the Woodford County as well. The guys have been really at it all day, and we're working hard to get it all cleaned up. It's going to be a while, but we'll take care of it. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to call or email me or whatever you want to do.
Thank you, Mr. Road Supervisor. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding the road department's work?
I hope we can get him home and get some rest. We can ask questions tomorrow because I know he's burning at both ends.
That's perfectly okay.
Thank you, Mr. Road Supervisor. And the road department, seeing no questions for them, you all are excused. I know you wanted to go ahead and head on out. Thank you, Supervisor Dean. Thank you, sir. All right. We'll move on to a committee item that was not taken up. That is the ambulance bids. So, Director Bailey, if you could, please, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. You all gave us permission to send out bids for the ambulance that we're trying to replace some of our older ones. And we sent out 5 bids and we received 5 back. That's the first time we've had that happen in several years, just due to the abundance of everybody being so backed up on their trucks. The one that we went through, you all had the list sent to you. Atlantic Emergency Solutions came in at $317,458. The reason we chose this truck as the one that we'd like to pick for the bid process is due to the fact we can receive that truck in December of 26 or January of 27. Everybody else came in with really good solid bids, but the problem was they're 2.5 to 3 years out, which is where everybody stands. You'll notice the one that was written as Pen Care had the lowest bid amount, But that truck was a demo unit that didn't meet the bid spec, so that's what caused it to be eliminated. So tonight, we're asking permission for us to accept the bid from Atlantic Solutions and have the judge sign any and all documents necessary to proceed with that process.
Thank you, Director Bailey. Let me open up the floor for any questions or comments regarding the recommendation of the bids for a new ambulance. This is a big deal, it's a big expenditure, and it's a very, very important need for the county. Any questions or comments upon the recommendation? Squire Varner, you're recognized, sir.
What chassis is it sitting on?
It's a Ford F-550.
Thanks.
We're trying to keep them as much the same as we can to where it makes it easier for the road department to do the maintenance, and we can buy in bulk for the supplies, for the oil changes, filter changes, and that keeps us in line with what we're replacing.
Thank you, Director Bailey.
Yes, sir.
Squire Gentry? Nope. Any other questions or comments from the fiscal court?
No, actually I do.
Yes, sir.
When is the next time you'll have to replace one? I know you said that it's coming up soon. I didn't know if this.
We've got 3 units that are all older, 2012 or older. They all have roughly, with the hours calculated into it, 1 million miles on them. So changing them, we keep these units quite long, as you can tell. Road department does a great job of maintaining to keep them up and functioning for us, but they're getting at the point now that they are becoming hazardous to us. So we could look at, again, next year, looking to try to replace, just because of the long delay of getting the truck. It goes out. The only other alternative that we would have, which I wasn't expecting to answer that question tonight, but as you see, the bid price of that unit on the demo unit was $265,000. That's going to be half price of what it's going to be the following year. Everything's going up. So our trucks coming in this year, this low, was really good. Next year, or year after, we're going to be looking at hitting $400,000 for these trucks. And that's terrible for that price, for what it is. But that's where we're looking. So it's one of those things that may be considerable to look now and save that kind of money now and take both units and get it in there to where we can go that route. That is also on an F-550 chassis. The difference was it's a demo and it didn't have the exact same layout that we have, but it's functional, workable, and could work to replace some of the older units.
And I would just note for those following along, we have these ongoing conversations about ambulance needs in particular and the purchase of ambulances, and Director Bailey has done a tremendous job in working through all of the challenges it is to get a new ambulance, to deal with the maintenance and repair and upkeep of our current fleet. And I will give another shout out to the Woodford County Road Department. We have mechanics on site that can work on our ambulances, which is a huge advantage for us. It saves us a lot of money in the long run. But it's not uncommon for Director Bailey to say, you know, we might need to go ahead and look at purchasing something, because this has been an ongoing discussion and conversation for several years now. Other questions or comments? Squire.
Director Bailey, how you doing? I'm just asking this because other communities may not have the kind of funds we have.
Right.
Are there companies that rebuild some of these ambulances when they go down?
They do, Larry. We have, Squire, we have looked into those, and that cost has went up drastically due to the fact that the manufacturers of the ambulances, when you do a rebuild, they don't make the profit margin. So they had to raise that cost up, you know, because it takes just as long to go through a remanufacturing, because they go through your box, recertify your box, go through it, change out lights, heat and air units, things like that. Anything that needs to be upgraded to meet the new KKK standards that we do, the new CASA standards, and things like that. So you're looking at about sometimes $50,000 to maybe $90,000 difference in price, but you don't get the same warranties and everything you do with the new trucks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anything additional? Any other questions thereon? Is there a motion to adopt the recommendation from Director Bailey regarding the ambulance bids? Motion by Squire Jackie Brown, second by Squire Larry Blackford. Open up the floor for any additional discussion. Just to be clear, the motion is to accept the bid from Atlantic Emergency Solutions in the amount of $317,458 for a new F-550 4x4 ambulance to be paid in the current budget year. In the fiscal year 26-27 budget, excuse me. There's a motion on the table. Is there any other further comments or questions? Seeing no additional discussion, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously.
Also, Judge, that, on that motion, to where if there's a purchase agreement or anything like that, I'd like the court's permission to go ahead and allow you to sign any and all documents necessary to do so.
Is there a
once we
motion?
call.
Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion too carries unanimously. Do you have any additional reports for the court?
Just
Director
on the
Bailey?
request.
Yes, sir.
As you all know, my assistant, Kent Berry, has got some medical issues that he's dealing with. He is headed to Atlanta tonight, prepping for a bypass surgery. So I'd like for y'all to keep him in your prayers and thoughts. As that happens on Thursday, I'll keep the court up to date how things are going. But we'd like to keep him in our prayers and thoughts.
Thank you, Director Bailey. We're praying for our Assistant Director, Kent Berry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me, before we move forward on the committee reports, I'm going to take the report from the treasurer. She has an engagement, middle school lacrosse.
Tonight's balance is $14,554,663.73.
Any questions for the treasurer? We do need a motion to authorize the judge executive to sign the auditor's letter of engagement with Patrick Associates for the FY26 audit. Motion by Squire Gill, second by Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. You are more than welcome to be excused. I will return back to our committee reports. We discussed in the Budget and Finance Committee the need to set the constitutional officers and deputy salaries. I need a motion to set the Assistant County Attorney salaries in accordance with the salary increases as submitted in the budget and recommended by the Budget and Finance Committee.
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Varner. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We too need to set the deputy coroner salaries. A motion to set the deputy coroner salaries in accordance with the salary increases as submitted in the budget and recommended by the Budget and Finance Committee. Motion by Squire Varner, second by Squire Gill. Seeing no questions thereon, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. For those following along, these are routine motions that are connected with the budget, and we have to make them before May 1st. So I'd also like to set the coroner's salary and the county attorney's salary in accordance with the cost of living increase of 2.7% as submitted in the budget. Is there a motion for same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gentry. Second by Squire Downey. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
May I have the record reflect for the successor county attorney? It was that figure submitted in the budget, which it might not be exactly that 2.7, might be less than that. So, okay.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney. We also need to set the magistrate salaries for the incoming magistrates. The recommendation presented to the Budget and Finance Committee was to set the magistrates' salaries to include the 2.7 CPI cost of living increase for the FY 26-27 budget. Is there a motion to set the salaries at same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Taylor. Are there any questions thereon? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. That was the total sum of business to come before the committees. We also held a public hearing for the use of county road aid funds as required by law before each budget. We did have a couple of comments that were made, one by Squire Blackford and one by Linda Pop. And I would reflect that we haven't received any other written or verbal comments, but we did meet the requirement of holding the public hearing as required by the Department of Local Government and statute. Squire Taylor, you're recognized, sir.
Judge, I just want to go back to the EMS item. Did we need to do the service agreement for background checks?
Yes, I did have that in new business, but we can go ahead and take that up with Freeman Bailey here. No, we'll go ahead and take that up. Is there a motion to authorize the service agreement as presented?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Taylor, second by Squire Gill. Are there any questions thereon? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Judge Pro Tem. All right, I would like to, as part of our reports, we have representatives from the Heritage Committee, the Woodford County Heritage Committee. We have here today, we have the president, Ms. Sherry Springate. We have Missy Wood, who also serves as the Daughters of the American Revolution. And we have Debbie Adams, the former president and member of the Woodford County Heritage Committee. We also have Shirley Rouse with us as well. And remind me of your name, sir.
Thomas Adams.
Yes, Mr. Thomas Adams is here with us as well. And I do have some news to report. Linda DeRossa, the executive director of the Jack Jewett House, unfortunately had to resign due to some issues. She was in a car accident, and so Linda unfortunately had to resign. But my understanding is the Heritage Committee has met, and I would welcome you all to present your recommendation to the court for how we proceed in the interim.
Thank you so much. Do want to say that we appreciated Linda and wish her all the best. So the executive committee did meet, and we have a unanimous recommendation that Durbin Tinsley be able to fulfill the contract for Linda this year. Durbin has currently serves on the executive committee as secretary, and also was an intern at the Jack Jewett House last year, and is eminently qualified. So Durbin, if you would like to say a few words.
Of course, yeah. Well, first, thanks for having me this evening. I'm Durbin Tinsley, standing to be the interim director of the Jack Jewett House. As said, I interned there last fall. I've been at the Mary Todd Lincoln House the last 4 years. I've interned at Lex History, work at Waveland, so I'm very familiar with history and public sites and how they're ran. And so I hope to take that same energy and information to the Jack Jewett House, especially here in celebrating America's 250. That wouldn't have happened without Jack Jewett and his ride so many years ago to save the Virginia legislature and Thomas Jefferson. And so looking to bring the America 250 celebration here to Woodford County.
Thank you, Mr. Tinsley. We really appreciate you being able to be here on short notice. We appreciate the Heritage Committee for meeting and coming up with a plan. I want to echo your comments. We really appreciate Linda DeRossa and all she did at the Jack Jewett House. I have presented your resume, Mr. Tinsley, to the Fiscal Court, and it would be my recommendation that we adopt the Heritage Committee's recommendation to enter into a negotiation for a contract with Durbin Tinsley to be the interim director to complete the contract period and term for Linda DeRossa as presented to the court. So this would be, I would need a motion to approve me to negotiate that contract under the idea that we would contract with Mr. Tinsley for that interim position.
Motion.
There's a motion by Squire Mary Ann Gill, second by Squire Darrell Varner. Are there any questions or comments thereon? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. And that motion carries unanimously. Thank you. So welcome. And you all are more than welcome to remain, and you're also more than welcome to be excused. Some really exciting stuff coming up. But I do agree, America 250 is a very, very big deal. I know Missy is with us, and Missy, we're looking forward to May 16th, 10 a.m. at the Jack Jewett House for the planting of the Liberty Tree. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Missy. All right. We'll continue on with our reports. We do have the quarter-end report for the county clerk's office. Is there a motion to approve same? Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We also need to approve the county clerk's claim for motor vehicles and boats in 2026 in the amount of $5,017.35 as presented. Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion, too, carries unanimously. We went through the ambulance bids. Squire Taylor also brought up the service agreement. We also need to ratify the email approval of the EMS 911 billing service agreement. That was April 17th email approval. Is there a motion to ratify same? Motion by Squire Varner, second by Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion, too, carries unanimously. We do have emergency management. Your report, Mr. Director, sir.
Judge, would you prefer I discuss the storm first or the EMPG contract?
Let's take the storm and go from there.
Really just to elaborate on what Road Supervisor Scott Dean shared with you, there's quite a bit of vegetative debris, particularly north of Old Frankfort Pike, but it wasn't limited to that geographic area. Deputy Crabtree went and took some damage surveys today, and we presented some of those findings to the National Weather Service. We're not sure if they'll come out, but we did find some twisting and breaking of trees, not at the ground level, up in the tree. We also found some rotation, which is not clear if the weight of the tree caused it to twist as it fell, or if rotation caused the tree to fall. But it's a very narrow path around Davistown Road, and as I said, we shared that with the National Weather Service, and they may send out a storm damage team to identify what caused that. At our peak, we were around 11,000 utility outages. As of 5 o'clock, that number was down to 201. KU had a substation type facility out Weisenberger Mill Road that had quite a bit of debris entanglement that needed to be addressed. But shortly before 4 o'clock today, most of Midway came back on. I would like to remind anyone that's still enduring a power outage, the masthead is the property owner's responsibility. So if a tree limb came down and pulled that masthead away from the side of your house, you would need to let an electrician get involved. So if you receive any calls about that, there have not been any property damage reports received as of 5 o'clock, but we have that form posted on our social media channels. And for the ongoing power outage, we worked with the health department earlier to distribute some information about food safety. So anybody that had refrigerated goods, beyond that 4-hour window, it's probably not safe for consumption and needs to be thrown out. Judge, with that, unless there's any questions, statewide, it does not look like this will elevate to that of a natural disaster, which I'm thankful to be not looking down the barrel of another one of those.
But we just continue to have these events, and I'm so proud of your team, your leadership, road department, everybody, for all our first response agencies who really stepped up during that time. Director Chandler, we're also looking at maybe some additional storms this evening.
Yes, so we are in a lower end of the risk, and that will be after midnight again. So a lot of us were woken up to the weather radio going off this morning. It works as designed. And last night's storms, we had 2 waves. The Interestingly, the earlier storm, which I thought had more intensity as it came through, did not actually escalate to that threshold of a severe thunderstorm warning, but the storms that came through at around 2 a.m. did. So again, it's a weather awareness night tonight.
Thank you, Director Chandler. And you have the Emergency Management Performance Grant Contract for the 2025 cycle.
Yes, we actually received our federal fiscal year 25 subrecipient award notice from Kentucky Emergency Management yesterday. Historically, we get that number in September, and the period of performance begins in October. As you all are well aware, the ongoing DHS shutdown affects all the subordinate agencies of Homeland Security, which includes FEMA. So our federal fiscal year 25 allocation is $27,418.09. We customarily use our payroll expenses to get this amount reimbursed. And then through our interlocal agreement, there's a rebate or a refunding of the same population percentage formula back to the cities for their portion. And so I would request permission, Judge, for you to be able to execute that document, which is a state master agreement. And we've already submitted our claims, so we're hoping for a quick turnaround on these dollars.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve the contract and allow me to sign and authorize any documents, execute any documents related thereto. Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Carl. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Director Chandler, may I ask for a brief update as well on our EWP buyout program?
Yes, Judge, we have, at the previous fiscal court meeting, there was an approval for the amended agreement with the USDA. We've not yet received the countersigned copy of that back, but they did not give us any indication to think that that would take very long because it is signed in Lexington by the state conservationist. We did receive back the 13 properties, environmental database searches, and I believe we have the same or slightly greater quantity of appraisals back. So pending the execution of that agreement, we will start additional title searches, but we've made all these documents available to the USDA, and we need them to tell us that it's okay to proceed to make offers to the property owners. Would be the next milestone.
Excellent. We appreciate that update, Director Chandler. Thank you, sir.
If anybody has any questions about that, we have the physical project file as well as the digital. And if there's any questions about the budgets that were submitted, I apologize for the tardiness getting those turned in, but I'll avail myself at your discretion.
You've had a few things going on, a little bit of business to attend to.
Thank you, Judge.
Does anybody have any questions for the Emergency Management Director? Seeing none, thank you, Director Chandler. You're more than welcome to be excused as well. Yeah, I saw that. I've been working really hard on that budget, so I know.
All he needed.
Is there any other department or agency seeking to give a report to the court? Seeing none, we'll move on to the general orders and the unfinished business. I do have a board appointment to approve. I'm recommending Ms. Jan Clark for the Woodford County Versailles Midway Ethics Board for a 3-year term. Is there a motion to approve that appointment?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Taylor, second by Squire Brown. Are there any questions thereon? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. Moving on from board appointments, we will have more board appointments as we come into May and we come to the end of the conclusion of the fiscal year. I will prepare those for the court. The claims, the bills to be paid by this county are before you. Are there any questions or comments on any of the bills to be paid? Seeing none, most importantly, are there any objections to paying any of the bills? Seeing no objection, I'll approve the bills to be paid without objection. We also need to approve the claim for L&W Emergency Services equipment in the amount of $4,333 for the Sheriff's Office using asset forfeiture funds. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gill, second by Squire Brown. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We need to approve the transfers. Motion by Squire Brown, second by Squire Varner. Any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We have a personnel order presented. Is there a motion to approve, same?
Motion.
Motion by Squire Gentry, second by Squire Carl. Are there any questions?
Judge,
Squire Taylor, you're recognized, sir.
are they reflective of the road department reorg, or is it something independent of that?
Yes, it's a clerical edit to the road department reorg. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. Are there any questions thereon? Any additional? Seeing none, there's a motion to approve the personnel order. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We do need to approve the claim of AECom in the amount of $7,257.09 for the engineering services on the Big Sink Sidewalk project, as presented, and authorize the judge to sign any and all documents related thereto. Squire Varner.
Second.
Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. My understanding is, according to the clerk, that we have a motion to direct, or we've dispensed with the need for a motion for the draft easement agreement between the county and Mr. Chris Jackson for the Millville Waterline project. That has been taken care of, Madam Clerk. If for some reason there's anything additional to be done by the court, I would bring that up for you all's email approval. But it does appear that we do not need anything thereon. Squire Taylor, anything in the additional Article 7 revisions of farmland preservation?
Well, it's not Article 7, but farmland preservation discussion, Judge. I just want to make a request that we, in your budget and our future budget proceedings, that we discuss making a significant investment in the Rural Land Board for the county.
Thank you, Squire Taylor. We'll follow up with more discussion on the budget and finance, or actually it'd be the committee of the whole at this point. The opiate abatement fund request, the substance abuse community resource specialist. I've been working with the mayor and the city council on approving that job duty and description, and I'm hoping that they will have that approved. And once it is approved, I will work with the fiscal court to advertise and work on the hiring of that position. I would just say, if there's no objection, we may also need an email approval on anything that comes from the fiscal, or excuse me, from the city council in their next meeting. On general orders and unfinished business, I did want to take a moment to just speak a moment on the facts of the Yokohama project. There's been some discussion online. And I will say that in the live stream, someone said that bourbon being hit would affect James K's father distribution company. Would it not? Let me just be open and transparent. My father does not have a bourbon distribution company, although I wish he did. I believe in the late 80s and early 90s, my dad owned K Whiskey across from the high school, which is a liquor store that's now a local tavern. But my family has no interest in the bourbon business, except maybe collecting and occasionally sipping on said wonderful Kentucky product. But, you know, just addressing things that just pop up on Facebook because they're allowed to pop up on Facebook. So I'm going to address some other things that popped up on Facebook about the Yokohama project. There was a misrepresentation of documented facts. There was a misquote of my tax numbers. There was misinformation shared with the community and inaccurate information, an opinion that was presented as fact. So I want to make sure that every taxpayer has a clear, unvarnished truth of the audited facts regarding the Yokohama investment, which this court knows well and are part of the public record. The purchase price of the facility is under contract for $8.5 million. We had a figure that has been publicly reported since August of 2025. And we also received an appraisal for well over $8.5 million. The city of Versailles, along with the county, received $2 million in the Kentucky Product Development Initiative. That's a grant. We do not have to pay that back. We also received, the EDA received a $100,000 opportunity grant from Kentucky Utilities, which will help with due diligence costs and even go down to pay down on the purchase price. That brings the local investment required to $6.5 million, not the number inflated and claimed online. The city and the county each received between $250,000 and $275,000 in occupational taxes from Yokohama. That number went down as they began to cut jobs. The figure online was stated at $370,000. I have no idea how someone arrived at that from the public documents available, but the amount represents a total of $500,000 plus to our community each year. It was also stated that our economic development consultant, Lucas Witt, who is the owner of a firm called MWM Consulting, is making a real estate commission as the agent for the sale of the Yokohama building. But public documents clearly show that the commission real estate agent is a firm called Block and Lot. Interestingly enough, Congressman Andy Barr's brother, Mr. Peter Barr, is the owner of Block and Lot, not Lucas Witt. Now, my understanding is MWN Consulting does have an affiliation with Block and Lot, but they are not the commissioned real estate agent. And the real estate agent is not involved in commercial real property because the Yokohama building is an industrial real property, a big difference from a commercial piece of real property. And the stated amount in public documents is a 3% commission, not 5 or 6. Lucas Witt's firm, MWM Consulting, has been hired by this body, the City of Midway, and the City of Versailles to act as our economic development consultant and director. Lucas Witt is an employee and owner of that firm, but they have several other employees who work diligently for us and do a lot of work. In fact, Woodford County is one of the only counties, including the cities of Midway and Versailles, where they do some of the day-to-day economic development work for our entire county, making $69,000 a year in contract, split between the three governments. Mr. Witt and MWM Consulting does not tell this body how to vote. They do not tell the City Council how to vote. They do not tell the Midway City Council how to vote. All decisions are made by legislative bodies of the government. They're not made by some man in Lexington. They're not pushed upon us by some conspiracy. They are decisions that we have to make. And they are economic development decisions that we make in the best interest of this community to grow jobs and wages, something that we have lost in the Yokohama building. We also lost that in the Sylvania Leadvance building. We also lost that in the Texas Instruments building, which the City of Versailles purchased under the former mayor and turned into the KCTCS system offices, which bring in a good amount of occupational tax revenue, providing good jobs and opportunities for our community. That also would relate to the Midway Station development, where we went from commercial, retail, and residential development to industrial development, and we've recruited industrial partners like America Howa, Lakeshore Learning, which is one of the largest taxpayers in our community, payroll taxpayers. Lucas Witt and MWM Consulting works for this body and the city councils, and therefore they work for the community. And for someone to impugn their character, for someone to take it upon themselves to make allegations and aspersions of illegal, immoral, and unethical activity are high charges to make when that person and that company works for us. And I'm not asking anybody in here to stand behind them and stand up for them, but there are folks that are believing some of this misinformation and disinformation online. If you don't believe in the policy of growing jobs and wages through redevelopment, industrial infill redevelopment in our community, let's have that debate. But let's take these ad hominem personal attacks off the table. You can ruin people's careers, you can ruin people's businesses, and it is not fair. It is extremely unfair. I would also say that the bond information, which you all have at your disposal, that are also public documents, were shared inaccurately. They were incorrect on basic facts pertaining to the interest amounts. They were also incorrect on the publicly available lease documents for Yokohama. All of this is online for members of our community to review, to audit, to ask questions, and to bring up. And I wanted to make sure that as we move forward with this process, that people aren't misled into what we're dealing with. That's my comments on unfinished business. We move forward with new business. We have the annual purchase order designees. I need a motion to authorize the judge executive to sign the annual list of authorized designees for issuance of purchase orders as presented. Motion by Squire Brown. Second by Squire Taylor. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. The motion carries. We have the annual standing order. I need a motion to approve the judge executive to sign the annual standing order as presented. Motion by Squire Gill.
Second.
Second by Squire Carl. All those in favor, please vote and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries. Squire Gill, we have the non-public school bus transportation contract 2627 before us again. We need a motion to approve same.
Motion, please.
And a second. There's a motion and a second on the table. It's an item that we have been well versed in over the years. All those in favor of the motion on the table, please vote, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We did dispense with the first reading of the IRB budget, IRB resolution. First reading of the ordinance. Madam Clerk, anything additional that we have overlooked or left out? That's pretty good. All right, we'll move on to announcements. Squire Downey.
Thank you, Judge. Just a couple items. Excited to welcome the United Way to the Health Department. They'll have a presence in our Woodford County Health Department on Mondays moving forward. So we're excited to have them in our community to help those in need, to connect them with essential services throughout our community. And then second, just happy Derby Week. It looks like by my count over half the field has some connection, whether owned, bred, or trained here in Woodford County. So happy to proclaim as the, I'll say Woodford County is the horse capital of the world, Judge. So thank you.
Thank you. Squire Black. Squire Gill.
Yes, thank you. I just want to thank the Conservation District. They were here to answer the questions that were asked at our last meeting, and they didn't get that opportunity. So I'm just going to kind of summarize it. We asked them to present their budget for fiscal year 26-27, and I didn't get the sense when they were here that they were given the opportunity to come prepared for multiple years of budgets. Their office director is new, and so anyway, there were several questions that were brought up. One was increased costs. And if you look over the years there, most of it goes to local cost shares. That's a benefit to all farmers. That's the biggest expense. Other things are taking care of a building that houses 4 agencies: Extension, Fish and Wildlife, FSA, and Conservation. They had to hire professional services. And employee compensation goes up, as we all know. We've seen that for years. So these were all reasonable expenses. Also was asked what percentage of the Conservation District budget is funded by the Woodford County Fiscal Court. That would be 58%. They questioned the word making donations. I have to say they did change that word donation to appropriation at the request of this fiscal court, but I have to say that it has been in their budget for years, and it's the format that is provided by the Kentucky Division of Conservation, and it has been continually used to reflect that. So there was really nothing wrong with the word, but if it made the court feel better, they put it in there. And I just want to say that their increase from last year was $18,713. You might think that's a lot, but like I said, that goes to all farmers. That's for the benefit of farming and all farmers in Woodford County. We spent far more than that. I saw the ad in the paper this week for the grant for young and new farmers, which benefits those eligible. The Conservation District budget is for all farmers, and I want to thank the work they do. I've followed their meetings since I've been a magistrate. I go to almost all of them, and they do fine work. They're very frugal, and they are experienced. They have office staff turnover, like lots of people do, but overall, that is a really well-run and a very vital department in this county, and I just want to thank them for that. And I'm sorry they're not here to hear it. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Squire Brown, sir.
Nothing, Judge, thank you.
Squire Taylor.
Judge, I too would like to thank the Conservation District for getting some information back. I'll be honest, we got it kind of late in the day yesterday, so I haven't been able to really break it all down yet, but I'm looking forward to continue to communicate with them, and they've been really helpful. I've been out to see their office a couple times, and I appreciate their diligence on it, and I'm looking forward to continue to communicate with them.
Thank you. Squire Gentry.
Nothing, thank you.
Squire Varner, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Just to kind of piggyback on what Squire Gill and Squire Taylor was talking about, that building out there, conservation building, ag resource building is used so much. If you get the calendar every month, those rooms are full about every night and on the weekend. So that's a really great asset for us. Second of all, it's still planting season, and I want to thank the good Lord for this rain we've received because we needed it desperately. Thank you.
And the good Lord decided to do some tree trimming as well. Squire Carl.
Nothing, Judge. Just have a great Derby week.
Thank you, thank you. Mr. County Attorney, sir.
No, but thank you, Judge.
Mr. Woodford's son, sir.
I'll just announce real quick that after 4 years of being at the Woodford Sun when we began this journey, that we are now officially, thanks to the IRS, a nonprofit, which was the goal that Ben and I undertook to be able to save the Woodford Sun. If it weren't for this county would not have newspaper. We've got a very diverse, whether it's on however you measure that, politically, socially, economic group of 8 advisors from the Woodford Countyans. None of them are running for office, thank goodness, and they're advising us on next steps. So this summer, we'll be having a big countywide issue that will describe what this means for the community, because it is now community owned. And I look forward to any of the fiscal court members who want to talk to me about this, things that they think the Woodford Sun could be helpful at. And one thing I'll mention directly to Squire Varner is I've been in conversations with our extension agent. We're going to do something the Woodford Sun hasn't done in years, which I think is borders on criminal, and that is have a regular, at least once a month column, not from anyone employed by the Woodford Sun, but from the UK extension agent. And I really am wanting to bolster the whole ag coverage. And having attended the Conservation District last week, they talked about several issues that I'm just thinking, we need to do a better job as a newspaper doing that. And I've expressed that to Nat and Michael the next time I see them. We need to not be so focused on Versailles and Midway and recognize that this is a rural economy and this community's newspaper needs and will do a better job of covering that.
Thank you.
And this status will help us do it. We're actually, I've got Helen Wrench trying to drum up a grant that we can actually hire a full-time ag and equine reporter. So that'll make it, we're really looking forward to being able to do those kind of things. So thank you guys, and look forward to your advertising dollars this fall.
Thank you, Mr. Woodford son. We appreciate that very much. I too want to echo the comments about the Woodford County Conservation District's budget. We had some good conversations post-meeting about working together to follow up. I just want to really commend Nat Colton. He's a great hire for the Conservation District. He works extremely hard. He comes well recommended. and he's doing a tremendous job. And I also want to thank the Board of Supervisors as well. Folks may not know this, but they're also elected officials, and we've had a good opportunity to working with them throughout the years, and I think it will continue, and that's what happened between this meeting and the last. So it is Derby Week. Happy Derby Week in the horse capital of the world. Maybe the birthplace of bourbon tourism, as I learned tonight. The greatest county in all of the universe, God's country, Woodford County. Be safe, have fun. Thank you. Keep up the great work, and God bless you, Woodford County.